So we'll make a start. We're starting with planning, and so Crispin's in charge. Okay, Crispin.
Okay, welcome everybody. This first item on the agenda is really to talk to Wayne Holmes about the forthcoming development on the Ceramtech side. So we're joined by Lawrence Munslow, and Lawrence is and Sam. Sam's just turned up. Is there anybody else, Lawrence?
Yeah, Mark Harding, Land and Planning Director.
Right, okay, Mark.
And there's an Andrew Tilbrook land buyer as well.
Yeah. I can't see Andrew, but I can only see 16 screens, so, and Andrew, okay. So, welcome, thank you for coming, and Sam as well. So, if I read out the questions which I prepared, is that, you'd like to do that, Lawrence? I'm addressing these to you, I suppose?
Well, just be to all three of us.
Okay, all right. So if I just read out, these were the first questions we'd come up with. So when do you intend to start work, i.e. move on to site?
That's it's probably one for me, actually. So we have exchanged contracts with Homes England, and we did so that just not so many months ago now. The process basically is now we are working up a reserve matters. We are just waiting the final results of the intrusive phase 2 GI from Homes England, which will be with us hopefully, Sam, very shortly. We have now the revised topographical survey following the demolition of the factory and its building, on all what's going on there. So we're now that's been passed on to our architect, who is designing our layout as we speak. Okay, so the idea would be that the reserve matters application is submitted in the summer, and we're sort of targeting sort of June, July for that. But hopeful that'll take 4 months to go before you the planning authority, etc. Hopefully granted in the autumn of this year, and to start on site in sort of I suppose the spring of 2022.
Yeah, spring 2022. Okay. Will the designs and overall houses, which I think is 72 plus 6 light industrial units, be built follow that which has already been indicated on the outline application?
They'll follow the general layout that was proposed previously. We're obviously restricted by the access point of the main road and the topography within the site itself.
Sorry, Mark, can I just come in? There's a lot of interference and we can't quite hear.
We need everybody to go on mute, Crispin. Everybody needs to go on mute. That might help it.
Go on mute, Dan.
Okay, carry on, Mark.
Yeah, so we're restricted by the access point. Obviously, that's going to be the main point of the site. Access where the original access to the factory was. The industrial units are going to be where they were. We're going to build those industrial units. I'll jump around a bit, but we are also going to build those, and they will be sold on the market. So we've already got a commercial agent looking at those, and potentially obviously putting those to the market and available for local people to buy. They may be purchased by a single investor who'd rent them out, but obviously that'll be down to see how the marketplace is for that. But houses, absolutely so. The 72 units that are proposed, and the 6 B1 units on top of that as well. One of the things we did want to discuss today, now we've got the topographical survey and looking at the sort of layout basically, and how the site's going to work, sort of changed our views a little bit. You mentioned in one of your questions that asks about the public open space and its availability to the wider public within Collerton. I know my colleague's going to table it in a second. We just want to gain your views really. The original idea would put the public open space at the top of the bank, sort of right up at the top end of the site. We can do that, but it's going to pose a bit of a problem in respect of access and the number of steps and stairs that will need to be incorporated into the design to get members of the public and the residents within the housing development up there. So we just wanted the table. It is just a thought, and it literally came in today from our architects. We've got a sketch plan about switching the public open space more towards the road side, where the existing car park is at the moment, the tarmac car park is at the moment. So this would give access, a much wider access to the general public as they walk up and down on the road, the children leaving the school, and also provide an access to a public open space area that is less restricted by steep slope and steps. So you get prams and pushchairs into it on a much easier basis. So Andrew, I don't know if you just.
I have tried sharing my screen, but it's disabled. I'm not sure if there's any way. That's a simple thing to allow me to do at all.
That's annoying.
Well, we can see you, Andrew. Well, I can see you.
I know, but just got to share my computer screen is the only thing I can't do.
I've got a copy of the plan here, so I might just be able to hold it up to the screen and see if it works. I don't know if you can actually see that, everybody.
Ian, can you make Andrew a no? Okay.
Yeah, just I click it. Just host disabled participant screen sharing.
So the public open space was going to go up here.
Yeah.
Now goes down to here. So there's a road running along the front there.
Mm-hmm.
We're switching it from up here to down there. Do you see what I mean? It would be there rather than up here. I'm sorry, here. See what it's
Up there, yeah.
So basically, we would try and limit the landscape visual impact of houses higher up the hill by reducing levels on that top bank a little bit. But the advantage would be bringing the public open space closer to the road and the pavement and the access to the public, giving the residents within the development the opportunity of easier access, and also the members of the public. I think that's quite important because it's going to be a community asset, public open space area. So it's really important to sort of make sure it's not tucked away at the top of a hill where it's going to have limited access to public.
Yeah, and I think the big one was already the engineers have looked at it, and it's virtually impossible with the levels. By the time you take, because you've got the root protection zone and those trees up there, to try and get it to work without steps for the playground.
Okay.
So we're just wondering how you feel about that. What we can do is but we can send you a plan just to have a look at. So all it is a concept. And we just want a bit of feedback really as to how the parish would feel about potentially doing.
Okay.
No,
yes,
I do apologise. I did have a few plans lined up. I was going to show you the story of how we got there, but
is there no way we can share at all?
Well,
no,
I don't.
It's for someone else to let me to, and I'm not sure.
I'm not sure we can. I'm not sure we can at this stage. I think best if you send it to Ian, and then we'll pass it out, and then we'll come back.
Okay.
No, that's absolutely fine. Not a problem at all. I'll send it over to Ian.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
Okay, talked about the green open space. Will your detailed plan? Will you employ local tradespeople to build the new site?
Yeah, I mean, Wayne Homes is a. I don't know how much you know about Wayne Homes, guys. I'm sure you've probably heard of us, but we're a privately owned regional developer. We have four outlets, I suppose, across the country: Northwest, West Midlands, Severn Valley, here the West Country, and the company down here, Southwest Limited. We build between 350 and 400 houses a year. So we're a reasonable sized regional developer. And we use local companies and local people. Now, in terms of ground workers, all our ground workers are local companies. We would employ. There are sort of 3 or 4. I suppose the pool of ground workers to do something of this size is quite limited, but we would employ a local company to do that, and that might be a Champions or an SHC or a Roadform, all local companies. We don't tend to use national ground workers. In terms of bricklayers and carpenters, and they're all local people. Then they might come from Exeter, they might come from East Devon, but the companies that we have subcontractors, and we also let contracts to sort of fairly large companies who employ a number of different carpenters, etc., plumbers, heating engineers, that sort of thing. But they are generally local people and local companies. So we'd like to think that whilst they might not all come from Colleton, we are using people from the West Country and keeping those jobs local.
Okay. Will your detailed plans be sympathetic? It's a tricky one, to the historic age of Colleton, architecture of Colleton.
I think we like to use local vernacular, and that means that we're the architect, myself, and my team will look at what's been built there. We're not going to be building thatch, unfortunately. I don't think it's not within our remit to do that sort of thing. But we'll look at the type of finishes, we'll look at the elevational treatments, and work with you guys, putting together a plan that hopefully will meet your approval.
Okay, yes. Well, that sort of leads on to the next question. Will you be using local materials such as flint? That's a tricky one to build with.
It's interesting. I had a discussion with my commercial director today. I think flint is going to be a tricky one, because the cost of we're obviously, whilst it would be nice to build everything in flint, it's the cost of the workmanship and finding people to do it as a sort of on an industrial scale, which is this is basically what it is going to be difficult to do. So we can look at it, and whether there's a method of construction, because we like to use modern methods of construction, obviously, which is more friendly to the environment. We'll look at it, but if not, then it'll probably be mostly render, and looking at the sort of local vernacular, there is a bit of that obviously as well. So possible we'll look at stone perhaps. We build some very nice units in stone. So key buildings, key elevations in stone. So we'll look to do that as well. And brick? Yeah, absolutely so. Yes. Yep. Okay. All right. Because you do definitely have some brick in Collerton. Yeah, we do have some brick in Collerton. Yes. Okay. The CCLT, Collerton and Community Land Trust, are keen to assist with the affordable element of the homes and would welcome early involvement by way of a partnership as favoured by Homes England. Is this a possibility? Have I got that right, Sam?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Grand. Yeah, as you'll well know, particularly in regards to people with the CLT, when we sent out invitation to tender for developers to come forward at this site, we made reference to the CLT, who we'd had discussions with, and referenced their interest in the site and potentially their involvement in the long-term stewardship of the affordable housing. And as I said at the time, that is a decision for the developer. It's not one for Homes England to make. But I think there's positives to be taken from a partnership such as that, and it's something that Mark and I have spoken about in the past. And whilst I won't speak on their behalf, I know it's conversations they're interested to have and see where they get to ultimately. It's all partnership working. Work with an RP as well. So I think it's still one for the future almost. But certainly in the past, Homes England have thought favourably about the CLT and sought to involve the CLT in discussions that we were having with the outline application.
Okay.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. Thank you, Sam. We see all our developments as a partnership with key stakeholders. You're an important part of the process of getting our reserve matters approval on this site. We'd like to have interaction on a very regular basis. We need to make sure you're happy with what we're It's going to be there for a long time. We really only have one chance of getting it right. Once it's in and done and built, then it's done. In terms of partnership with housing associations and trust, absolutely so. We've obviously got financial targets to meet in terms of the affordable housing. We know we've got to provide 14 houses within the scheme, and that will be provided. But working with partners is something we do well. So happy to receive that invitation to speak and open up negotiations.
No, so Sam's sent on all the details, and so I think the plan is get a slightly more definitive layout and then have those discussions. Absolutely.
Okay, you've answered the last two questions earlier. Thank you, Lawrence. So, does any other councillors have any other questions? I'm looking at the clock and thinking we haven't got a lot of time. But are there any councillors with questions? Yes, Paul. So I can't see everybody. If you can't see, you're going to have to shout.
Thanks, Chair, very much. And thank you very much to Mark and Lawrence and Sam and Andrew, is it?
That's the one.
Yes, for coming along. Really, really so pleased that you've done this. It's really important. Declaring interest. I am one of the directors of the Collerton and Collyford Community Land Trust, also at East Devon District Councillor as well. So I suppose two questions really. The first one is, given that it's 2021, how do you think you'll be able to go the extra mile in terms of green credentials? Are there any particular things there that you think would excite us? And I noticed, Mark, I don't know if you're thinking about timber frame, or there are ways in which you must be thinking of constructing which are reducing the energy miles and all the rest of it, in terms of getting stuff on site. And in terms of the power supply to the site, to the residences when they're eventually built, have you considered anything like a sort of regional district power network, or are you thinking basically people will just go straight on, gas, electric mains? Are you thinking about air source heat pumps, or ground source heat, or even solar panels? If the answer to all that is no, that's fine. But very interested to hear what your thinking is, because it's quite a big development, and it's in theory quite a big opportunity to boast for you.
Absolutely so. So to answer your first question, Paul, modern methods of construction are something we're taking very seriously at the moment, and as part of the process in the tendering process of being awarded the selected purchaser for this site, Homes England, we had to demonstrate that we were actively looking at modern methods of construction. And as you quite rightly say, timber frame is something we've now just started to roll out. We've got a site in St Hevel down by Padstow, where we've got 100 units there, and we thought, well, we'll try the first 20, see how we get on. They've been such a success, and the reason for that is it's twofold. Firstly, its green credentials are much quicker to put up. And better insulated. Secondly, for us, they're fantastic because it means that our trades, our people who work for us, the subcontractors, are pretty much working in a dry from the moment that the frame goes up and the roof goes on, which gives two benefits. Firstly, they're working dry, and secondly, from the house point of view and the quality of the house point of view, it means that the house is dry from day one. So therefore, you haven't got this process of when new occupiers move in, the house dries up and there's always some shrinkage, and we sometimes suffer a little bit from some damp areas, and we have to dry the houses out much more. They're much easier to build. So that's the first and foremost. We also will have to look at methods of heating potentially that are above and beyond gas. Gas, as you know, is going to be gas boilers going to be phased out in 2025. So heating sources such as combined heat and power, and also air source, ground source heat pumps will need to be considered to meet the new criteria coming through from the government to meet the building regs. So we'll look at all eventualities there.
Okay, Paul. Is there any other Colin? Colin, you're muted. Colin, you're muted. Colin, you're muted. I'm sorry about this. Colin, you're muted.
Okay.
Am I talking a foreign language?
No,
Colin,
no.
Oh, Colin, you there?
Is that better?
Yeah, yes, a bit.
I'm here. Right. Sorry about that. Yeah. What I'd like to ask is there's a company called CJ Fry who have made a huge mark in Dorset, and they have recently built a Seaway Head in Collerton, and they have used vernacular flint and render and real chimney pots. And they're matching in with the local vernacular. We've got a conservation area which abuts this site, and we're very anxious for the design of these buildings to be in sympathy with the vernacular of Collerton. And the other very quick point is that we have a large culvert that runs through the town, which would take all the stormwater from this site without you having to dig the streets of Collerton up. Were you aware of that?
We've actually, thank you, Colin. To answer your first question, CJ Fry, we are partnered with CJ Fry in developing the Duchy site at Nans Leaden, which is on the outskirts of Newquay. Yes. So we know Fry's very, very well indeed. Being partners with them. Yes. Partners with them on this development. I will speak to Fry's in terms of how they've dealt with building flint, and we'll make a point of doing that for the So then potentially, if we could do the same. So I can't and won't promise we'll do Flint,
No.
but we will look at on certain plots, obviously, but we will look to see how they've done it,
Okay.
and see if it's feasible.
Thank you.
And secondly, in regard to the culvert, thank you for that. We have got a surface water solution that your engineers have looked at, but if there's information we're not aware of which might help us in that, potentially saving some digging up roads or whatever it might be, then we will look at that. So if you could pass us information on that, we
Yes.
to receive.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
If is there anyone else? I can't see everybody, unfortunately, so you're going to have to shout. Mr. Chairman, I'm Andrew. I'm a bit concerned of the time, of course, because there's a lot to talk about tonight. So unless anybody else has got any other questions specifically for Ceramtech or Homes England or Wayne Homes, shall we? I was thinking we ought to perhaps have a meeting, Mr. Chairman. We have a meeting which is just to talk about Ceramtech some weeks down the line.
Yeah, yes, I think that's fair enough, but I think we need to see plans and things so we can fix it then. But I just think we should just thank them very much for coming tonight and move on.
If there are, thank you, Mr. Chairman. If there are any questions, queries, if you want us to attend another meeting, and hopefully one day we'll be in person as well, which I'm delighted to attend.
Nice.
Rather than being around a screen, we'll happily do so. As I said to you, the whole idea of this, I think, is key stakeholders like yourself. We need to work in partnership to get this done. It is in our best interest to do the best development we possibly can, which means we sell our houses, we sell the affordable units, and get the best development for Colleton that we want. The first time we built in Colleton, it's not the first time we built in East Devon, obviously, but the first time we built in Colleton, and we want to make sure that we leave a good, very good, lasting impression when we do.
Okay, well, Mark, Lawrence, Andrew, and Sam, I think that's it. Thank you very much for coming. It is appreciated. And yeah, we'll be in touch. And if you could send through that plan, Andrew.
No, absolutely. I'll send it over to Ian, of course.
Okay.
Lovely.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Okay, Andrew. Mr. Chair, shall I carry on?
Yeah, carry on. Yes, it's your meeting.
Remember, most people, most of you are muted at the moment. Councillors. Okay, to receive and approve apologies for absence. Ian, have we had any?
None.
None? Okay. Declarations of interest? None?
No.
Approval of minutes of the meeting held on 22nd of February, which I have here. Has anybody got any comments, corrections?
There is correction. At the moment, the items are F21 when they should be P21, but I have changed that.
Sorry, F21 should be, sorry, say that again, Ian?
They should be P21 because obviously they're
P,
not F.
all of them
Sorry.
going through P. Oh, I see. They've got a financial suffix instead of a planning suffix.
It has been changed.
All right. Okay. Apart from that, could if that's okay, could I have somebody to thank you, Steve, to propose they're accepted? And so Steve proposes and Howard seconds. Everybody in favour? So I can't see everybody. Looks like anybody against? No, carried. Matters arising from the minutes. I've got nothing. Okay. Democratic period. Mr. Chairman, are we limited to 3 minutes a speaker?
Yes. Yeah.
And a maximum of 15 minutes. Okay. So who'd like to bully off? Sorry, kick off. No? Okay. Have I got that? Yeah, no. Okay, planning matters to be considered then. So we have seven. So we better get on with this. So item 1 is Foxworthy. Now, as you know, I'm talking to the councillors, as you know, we had a site meeting. We met with the applicant, one of the applicants, Sarah Thomas, who kindly let us onto her land, and we viewed the situation. Would anybody like to give their comments as to what we found there or what they thought? No? Okay. So as far as I can see, the only thing we're talking about is a small amount of land which is on the southern boundary of the boundary between the house and the field, and the field is in the same ownership as Mr. and Mrs. Thomas. So we're not talking about a boundary which is to another piece of land owned by somebody else. And in thinking about it, that's all we really have to discuss. Am I summarising the situation correctly with those who attended the meeting?
Yes, if you're saying, Crispin, that the previous application approved the, what I would like to call it, the diagrammatic aspect of the land.
Well, yes, and then the clients, the new application really is asking for an extra bit of land where we saw that rebate come out of the field and then it jumped back in again.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So the difficulty here, and I don't like neighbours not getting on, of course, but the difficulty here is there were no dimensions put on this fairly, it's my opinion, fairly critical drawing. And you shouldn't really scale drawings because they can be wildly out. However, the client has made sent through an email today, which you've all seen, which indicates that the piece of land which we're really talking about is just on a small amount on this southern boundary. So I'm happy to make my recommendations unless anybody else has got any other comments. Okay, all right. So I wrote down here we would accept the plans with the proviso that an accurate, this is to the East Devon Planning Authority of course, recommend an accurate plan of where the south boundary fence, the fence being the dividing line, has been constructed, is submitted and approved to East Devon. I don't know where the fence is. It's very difficult to determine whether that's within where it should be or it's slightly somewhere else. However, that would clarify everything. Due consideration is given to the brown hare streak, which is a butterfly, which I understand inhabits the area. I don't know whether East Devon have already been through that process, but that would seem to be a sensible thing to bring to their attention. And due consideration is given to the northern drainage channel. That's the channel against between the site and the road, and it's kept clear at all times, of course, especially following construction of the timber double garage. I may be repeating things which have already been said in the past. Has anybody got any other comments on that?
I've just got one, Chair, and it
Yes.
was a comment that was made that I don't quite understand, and that was that we were led to understand that the fencing contractors couldn't keep to the fence line, the original fence line, because of the slope of the land. I can't quite rationalise that.
Yeah, well, yes, the fence should be on the line marked on the plans. You're right, Eddie, and you're right. And what Mrs. Thomas was saying in her email to us today is that's why we have that dog leg, not more than a dog leg, it's a rebate taken out of the field, so the fence could move to the top of the cut line, which takes a bit more land.
I'm still none the wiser, Chairman. No, I mean, normally if you instruct a fencing contractor to put a fence in a particular place, they have no option but to put it in that particular place.
You're absolutely right, Eddie, and that is why the rebate comes out of the field a bit more, and you get this recess, which gives a slightly larger bit of private land, if you like.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Joy.
It does look, when we were on site, as if the fence had been put out there to accommodate a gate in that sort of dogleg bit.
Yes, a 1 metre gate. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 metre gate. Yeah. Yes, it's not indicated, but I don't think planning would get too worried about there being a gate between the same property giving access to the field, which Mr. and Mrs. Thomas own.
No, I'm not questioning the gate. I was just saying it appears as if the fence line there was taken out a little bit further to accommodate that gate, which is at right angles to that fence line.
Yes, well, that's why I'm suggesting that an accurate plan is submitted to East Devon, which put things where they should be. Okay.
Chairman, there's a note come up on the screen from Sarah Thomas.
Do you want to read it out, Eddie?
No, it's just gone.
No. Okay. So, has anybody got any further comments regarding this application for Foxworthy? Okay. So what I read out there, if you can remember it, is accepted, but with those 3 comments. Can I propose this, Mr. Chairman?
You can if you like. It's better to have a proposal from the
It'd be better if
floor,
it wasn't me. So
yeah,
if that all makes sense, can I have somebody to propose this?
I'll propose, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Howard. Somebody to second, please.
Yeah, I'll
Can you
second
hear
that.
the proposal, please?
Yes. So
Yeah.
accepted with the proviso that an accurate plan of where the southern boundary fence has been constructed and submitted and is approved. So in other words, what I'm trying to do is bring to the attention of East Devon, is the fence where East Devon thinks the fence should be, or is it not quite there? Now you get to a point where they're so close that it doesn't matter, but at least we've drawn East Devon's attention to it. Secondly, due consideration is given to the brown hair streak butterfly. And third, that the northern drainage channel is kept clear at all times, especially following the construction of the timber garage, which has yet to be constructed, but has already been approved. Is that okay, Joy?
Yes, I understand now what you're.
Okay, so Howard, you still happy to say that? Right. Okay, seconder, please.
Yeah.
Eddie.
Thank you, Eddie. Anybody got any objections? Okay. Any abstentions?
yeah, I'm abstaining. I didn't go.
Okay, and you, Paul,
Thank you, Chair.
and Steve as well. Steve, you're muted, Steve. Okay, so that's 3. Did you get that, Ian?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody against? Then the motion is well. If those 3 against, nobody against, then the motion is carried. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to item 2, which is Castle View Colleton. So this is a construction of single side story extension, which I went and had a look at, and well, I've not really got too many comments about it. It seems to be quite reasonable. It's single story. It's to the side where there is space. You just lose a bit more garden. Does anybody else have any comments looking at the drawings?
No, I'd agree with you, Chair.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Steve, sorry. Steve, were you going to say something?
No.
All right, okay, you just unmuted then. I thought you're going to...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I've got no objections.
Okay, thank you. If nobody else has got any other things to say, can I have somebody propose we accept this one?
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve. Eddie, seconded?
Yeah.
Thank you. Anybody against? Anybody got any other comments? Okay. Motion carried.
Abstention, please.
Oh, another abstention, Paul?
Mine will all be abstentions tonight, as they should be normally.
Okay. All right. Item 3 is Saxon Meadow, Colleton. This is the new development off the Collie Road, newish development, I suppose I should say. Number 6, well, if I look at number 7 next door, it is what number 6 wants to be. And this is number 7 next door has got a 2-story bit sticking out the front. You've got the porch, and above it you've got, I'm assuming it is the bathroom. And number 6, the one of the application, has only got a 1-story porch, and they would like to increase it vertically to give a bigger bathroom upstairs. Well, I don't think we can object to that because next door looks like it. Has anybody got any comments? Steve, yes.
I've got no objections to it. I've been up and had a look. What I do find rather strange, they haven't been in there 5 minutes and we've already got, so how many more planning applications are we going to have for that site? Yeah, no, I've got no objections to that.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
Well, familiar area, with all the rest.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
several. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I sometimes have contracts come into my office where they haven't even bought the house and they're talking about extending it. So,
Oh, right.
Okay. So, has anybody got any objections to this one?
No.
No. Can I have a proposer? Can I have a proposer, please?
Howard West.
Howard, seconded by Ken.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ken. Anybody objecting? Anybody got any comments? Okay. Motion carried. Item 4 is.
Don't worry, Paul. I've already written it.
Sorry, abstention. Paul again.
Well, they're already there, Paul.
Oh, well done, Ian. Thank you. Ian, do you know we can't see you? I can't see you.
Yeah, sorry, I turned off the camera.
Okay.
Down the bottom there.
You've moved down. Item 4 is Summerway Farm in Northley. If you don't know where this is, although that's the address we were given, I checked with Ian. It is in Colston Parish Council area. So if you like I've said on my notes, you run along the road towards Northley, really, along with the river on your left, and then you'll turn right before you get to Pearlbridge Cross. And you go up there a while, and you come to Summerway Farm. So it's a separate garage where they want to extend to the rear and make what they said is some accommodation for, I think I'm right in saying, disabled relatives. Well, it's going to be in timber oak framed. I was a bit upset that there was no LBC application because the farmhouse is listed.
Do we know why that is, Chairman?
No, I don't.
I mean, mine is listed.
Yeah.
But everything within the enclave is also listed.
Correct. You're absolutely right, Eddie, and that is normally the way it's done. And so, as a matter of course, I would have automatically done an LBC application to run parallel, but I can't find one, and it's not been listed on Ian's comments. So it would be. I don't know why that is, and the applicants may have spoken to East Devon, and East Devon may have said, no, you don't need to do it. But I haven't read that anywhere.
Normally not that flexible.
Yeah. Does anybody have any comments on this one?
Howard.
Yes, sorry, Howard, carry on.
Should we? I'm quite happy to propose acceptance.
Yeah.
We should point out to East Devon in our comments that we haven't received an LBC application.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay. Anybody else got any comments? Thank you, Howard. No. Anybody got any objections? Paul, you're abstaining again. Okay.
Yeah, a second.
You need a second.
Oh, I need a second. I'm sorry. Sorry, you're right. I need somebody to propose this. Howard, is that okay?
I proposed, yes.
Somebody to second, please.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, thank you, Eddie. Okay, nobody against. So that one is carried as well. Number 5, we're getting there, thank you. Number 5, land and buildings to the southwest of Heathhane Cross. Well, you have to look at the application to find out where this is. But if you run down the Southley Road, then Heathhane Cross, you go on a bit further, and then this field is just off to the left or the south. So the proposal involves you enter the field, there's a track which then runs back, sort of do a hairpin, you run back up the other side of the hedge, and at the far end, the corner of the field, there's a timber enclosure, 6.8 meters times 5.6 times 4.4 high. So it's not a small building, I suppose, split into two with storage for animal feed on one side and an enclosed part for machinery and tools. Well, it's behind the hedge. I'm having difficulty thinking there's anything really, if this is going to help the farmer to look after his land, etc. Has anybody got any other comments on this one? Yes, Eddie.
It's a question, Chairman, really. Did we not have a very similar application? I know that it's not relevant to each one.
Yeah.
Where there was a slight dispute over which the field was.
Oh, I'm not aware of that.
We actually identified the true field and where the building was going to go, but it wasn't where it was originally scheduled.
No, that was a different field altogether, Eddie. That was the one up on top.
Okay.
That's
what I was asking the chairman, but the chairman answered.
The address is very misleading, but they're miles apart.
Okay, that's okay.
Oh, I see. Yes,
but you understand my query.
Yeah, you have to walk up the footpath a while. Yes.
Yeah.
So, has anybody got any other comments on that? Yes, Howard.
I don't know if you know, all of you, but there is an email that came in at 10 to 5 this evening from a James Buckley commenting on this application.
I haven't seen that.
You were all forwarded it, but you were forwarded it literally as the meeting started, because obviously I received it. I only received it when I came in.
Do you want
Howard?
would
you like to read it out?
It's quite a lengthy one, isn't it?
Yes. I wish to comment on the planning application we're talking about. I live in the nearest house to the proposed development. Whilst I have every sympathy for the need to house animals in winter weather, there is also a need to ensure that rural landscapes do not become degraded, and especially those within AONBs, which this is, and national parks. This development needs to be taken in the context of the local landscape. Since the land was sold off as a result of a change of ownership of Heathhame Farm, this land has been further sold off into smaller parcels, of which this is one. A series of buildings and, more importantly, excavation works and tracks have appeared in adjacent fields in the land sold from Heathhame Farm. Some of it consented to in terms of planning applications, and some of it where planning approval was not sought. The current plan for this field would be a further degradation of the immediate landscape, requiring both a driveway and concrete base, as well as the building. The type of building could be one that is ecologically sensitive, temporary, and not requiring a permanent base, as were previous buildings approved on this land. And furthermore, it could be sited next to the field entrance, therefore not requiring a track access across the field. In isolation, this does not look problematic. However, the original parcel of land is not split into 3 pieces, of which this is one. The site is located within the AONB and very visible, especially in the winter months, as it's high up on the Collie Valley hillside. Whilst the planning application refers to some planning guidance and regulation, it does not refer to planning guidelines that pertain to AONBs. I would like to point out the following 2019 report on landscape. Specifically, development should be considered in the context of conserving and enhancing the natural beauty of such landscapes. This cannot be considered to conserve or enhance the landscape in any way. It will also provide preconditions to farm buildings to be erected on other adjacent small parcels of land, further degrading the environment. I don't notify the planning application, even though I am the nearest neighbour, and only found out over the weekend.
Well, thank you, Howard. I wish you had seen that earlier.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't have much chance, Mr. Chairman.
Ooh.
Chair, while you're thinking, and you're obviously thinking noble thoughts there, can I come in? I'm reading it online, the application on the East Devon website.
Yeah.
I just wonder if we need to declare a collective personal interest, because the applicant, Mr. Carlisle from Bevis and Beckinsale, they're our regular solicitors, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
then we should.
Yeah.
We should. Yeah. If you could note that, Ian.
So it's Mark Carlisle, Ian. It's not a problem. It's there.
Paul, if you're looking at that, can you tell me what the date for the decision notice are, when comments have to be returned by?
Yes, let me have a little look. Details. Oh, lordy.
The front page.
Important dates.
Yeah.
So, right, it's just loading. 8th of April.
When's our next meeting?
8th of April.
Well, no, it can't. No, it's Thursday, the 8th of April. So our next meeting will be on the 5th, won't it? Or 4th?
12th.
Well, so we've got to decide. We've got to decide tonight, or ask for an extension.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Howard.
I think we should possibly do a site visit.
Yeah, I think you're right. In light of that email, I think we should, and we need to then ask East Devon to delay making their decision, closing the date until. Sorry, Ian. When's our next planning our meeting rather?
12th.
So that's a Monday. So delay until the 14th. Yeah. Okay. Is that a reasonable proposal? We do a site meeting, bearing in mind we've just seen this information or just received this information, and we ask East Devon to give us a few more days to consider. Anybody got any objections to doing that? Do I need to get a proposal seconder, Andrew?
We should just do that, yes.
I proposed.
Thank you, Howard.
I'll second.
Ken seconds. Thank you. Okay, we will do that. I'll yes, if that email's just come in, so I'll obviously have a good read of that and have a think about it. Okay, if that's all right on that one. Item 6 is the Town Mill, Rosemary Lane in Collerton. So I'm sure you've all been
on that vote. Did you want to abstain on that vote as well, Paul?
Oh, Paul.
No, I'm gonna vote for the site visit.
The site visit.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification. Right. Okay. Item 6, Town Mill, Rosemary Lane, demolition of the boundary wall. Well, that's happened, and construction of new wall and gates. Well, the wall's gone, and the gates have yet to turn up. They'll turn up later as the buildings reach more nearer completion. It says the new wall will be built using the existing stones. As far as I can see, that's exactly what's happening in a lime mortar. The new gates will be a vertical metal bar, so they're at the end where the old gates were, looking down down Rosemary Lane. Manufactured locally, it's good, and surmounted by barbed wire. I've written here, my only proviso was I wasn't keen on the barbed wire, but I'm not sure really that's a planning issue. Has anybody got any other comments? Or
it could be worse. It could be razor wire.
But it could be razor wire. It said barbed wire, which is, you're right, Andrew, it's fairly old fashioned, but yes, it could be razor wire. Does anybody have any comments on this one? It seems to be putting back roughly what was there.
Yeah.
Steve, is that?
Yeah, I propose we accept this, and
thank you, Steve.
Got to go back.
Yeah, it's got to go back. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve. Seconded, Andrew.
Yep.
Seconded, Andrew. Anybody got any comments against or want to vote against? Paul, are you in this time?
Abstain, please, Chair.
Abstain. Okay. If nobody's got any objections, then that one is passed as well. Thank you. Item 7, I haven't. This is the Coach House, Kingsholm. I'm sure many of you are very familiar with this one. So description is cutback branches in line with boundary wall that overhang part of the house. It's so I can't remember the name of what tree it is. Anyway, this isn't the first time that this, I think something along these lines has come into the council. I've asked Jason Mayer to go out, but he hasn't got back to me yet. Howard, would you like to give us some background?
Yeah, can I ask Steve to come in on this one? I think Steve and I have at least been to the Coach House twice.
Yeah.
This is a very, very large diameter branch, which goes out 90 degrees to the tree, and it goes right across part of the Coach House building. And sometime it's going to break and it's going to almost destroy the house. I think Steve will agree that we've recommended that this branch be taken off twice in the past. Both times it's been refused
by East Devon. Have said no, it can stay.
Think it's highly dangerous, this branch, and should come down. Do you agree, Steve?
I totally agree. I could not believe the first time the application came in, we went out and had a look, and we totally agreed with the application then. East Devon didn't have any feelings for the people living in that house, I don't think. And when the second one came in, we again approved it, yet East Devon threw it out. And that's several years ago now. So I would imagine the situation has worsened and it is lethal. If that snaps and someone is underneath it in that house, it's going to kill someone.
Yeah.
It is that big that big a branch. It really is.
Steve, if this branch was removed, would it make the tree unstable?
No, I don't think so.
It's a fairly big tree as well.
Yeah, it's a fairly big tree.
It looked like a big
goes
tree.
off at a 45-degree angle and grows right over the house.
Yes,
I
Howard.
think basically it's unstable with that branch being left
on it.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Has anybody got any other
I'd
comments on this one?
I'd like to propose that we recommend that it is removed.
And
Okay.
I'll second that.
So proposed Howard, seconded Steve. Has
Yeah.
anybody got any other comments?
Mr. Chairman, can I make a comment?
Yes, Colin?
Yeah. Can we say to East Devon, if they persist in rejecting this proposal, will they become liable for any damage or injury caused by this tree?
You know, that's not really a planning matter, which is what we're being asked.
Well, it is. I mean, 3 times. This will be the 3rd time we have determined that this tree is not safe. And we heard the other day somebody's been killed by a tree in Devon somewhere.
Sure.
That for 2 years had been, reported as unsafe. We've reported this one as unsafe. We consider it's a threat to the house and to the safety of people. Are they liable? We've given our opinion independently 3 times now.
Okay, Paul, have you got any comments on this one?
No, I'm very much voting for this thing to be removed as fast as possible.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, we can make comments to that effect, Colin, when we reply, if that's all right.
Are they liable? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sorry, were you asking me, are they liable?
Well, no, I was asking you if East Devon, in your role with the other hat on, is this something which we should be mentioning to East Devon? Are they prepared to be liable, which might make them sit up a bit? But I feel uncomfortable here because it's a planning matter, and I'm not sure whether we're bringing legalities into it.
Yeah, I can't answer that one, I'm afraid. Sorry, Chair.
All right. Okay, I can draft something.
I think
yes, Howard.
As long as we not only recommend that it comes down, we also say that we feel it's very dangerous.
Yeah. Okay.
Cost of life.
Yeah. Okay. Has anybody got any other comments on this one? No. Anybody got any objections? Paul, are you voting for in this time, did you say? Yeah. Okay.
You.
Yeah. Okay. So has anybody got any anybody else? Is anybody else abstaining? Anybody abstaining rather? No. Okay, that one's passed as well. Ian, I will do your summary of what we said tonight.
Yeah, I need that tomorrow, please, so I can do the Foxworthy one. It has to be posted tomorrow.
I was going on holiday tomorrow, but there we are. Okay, put that off then. Right, planning decisions by East Devon, Greencroft House, Sidmouth Road, Collerton, cutback branches, that was approved. Planning correspondence, amend ratified back on the neighbourhood plan. Amend ratified neighbourhood plan to include change suggested by East Devon District Council on colleague 10 employment uses, which I think is on the back of the minutes, back of the agenda.
Yeah.
Comments, please.
I propose that we accept that, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Steve. Anybody else got any? Can I have a seconder?
I second that.
Thank you, Andrew. Anybody got any comments on this one? No. Any amendments? Anybody abstaining? No. Okay. Well, that's passed. Thank you. Items brought to the chair's attention after the agenda was published. None from me. It's short, isn't it? And dates of next meetings as noted there on the 12th. Mr. Chairman, I've come to the end. I've come to the end, and it's 7:54.
You've done very well. Now, can we go on to amenities next? Because if we go on to finance, there's something we might have to take into committee in finance. So if we could get amenities out of the way, if that's all right with everyone.
Yeah.
So
that's
Colin.
fine.
Okay, right. I'll take this next then. First of all, to receive and accept apologies for absence. Anybody, Ian?
Nope.
Nobody? No, nobody. Right, the minutes of the Amenities Committee meeting held on the 22nd of February, Appendix Z, to be approved. Can everyone remember those and approve them as being acceptable? Yeah. There's a proposal and a seconder from Howard, proposed by Andrew, seconded by. Is everyone in favour, or is there anyone against? Right, those are passed. Thank you. Matters arising from the minutes. I don't think there's anything. I think the matter we're going to discuss in a minute may be one of the matters arising.
I think there is one, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Howard.
We did agree last time that the parish clerk would contact our current insurers about the social club and ask them to reconsider their low valuation on the social club.
And they're still considering.
They're still considering.
Yeah, they won't give us. They've sent into their claims team, and they won't give us an email address to their claims team. They won't let us go.
No. But at least it's been done. That's
enough. Yeah. I chased them on Thursday, and all they said is they're still considering.
Right. Made the approach. Thank you.
Sorry.
If there's nothing else under matters arising, we'll move on then to declarations of interest. Anybody has got any declaration of interest? No, in that case, democratic period, opportunity for the public questions and comments. Total of 15 minutes if you want to talk about anything pertaining to amenities. So nobody wants to in the democratic period.
Move on.
Right. Sorry, was there somebody? Move on then. We'll move on then to Millfield, and this is the main part of this meeting. Allotment holders plan. Now, hopefully you will have seen the plan that's been sent in from the allotment holders committee, and with a drawing and an explanation and a request for something to be done at the Millfield site. I don't know if anyone's got any comments. You've all looked at that plan and seen it. Steve,
it's a very good plan.
Right.
But what I will say is we need to have it priced. We need to know what it's going to cost.
Yep.
We're already committing possibly a lot of money towards getting the water supply up there.
Yep.
That isn't in the budget for next year. This is not in the budget for next year.
Okay.
I just don't know where all this money is going to come from.
Okay. Yep. Right. So a costing then will be the next request from us to the Allotment Association to see if they could provide some costings. Is that what you're asking?
Well, I think we need to know what it's going to cost.
Yep.
Before we move on any further.
Okay.
I believe it's the right way. We're putting extended car park in. We're putting something in for disabled so that they can do some allotment.
Yeah.
And I believe that's a very good move for this council. But we do need to know what it's all going to cost.
Yep, indeed. Well, apropos of that as well, I was asked at the last meeting to approach John Voisey, and I don't know whether he has sent to the council. I've asked him to email a quote for clearing that site. Has he done that yet, Ian?
Nope.
Oh, we had a quote from him of £185, I think, over 12 months ago to clear that site and to take all the rubbish away and dispose of it. He hasn't indicated to me when I rang him up that it would be the same. So I've asked him to put it in writing. So again, we're waiting for a price to clear that site. And what Steve is proposing is that we write back to the Allotment Association and say we would like a costing of what this might cost the council.
Detailed costing, Mr. Chairman.
Pardon?
Detailed costing.
A detailed costing of what it may cost the council to do what they are proposing. And then we can discuss it amongst ourselves as to whether we feel it's worth the money and we would support it. So at the moment then, I don't think we can move any further forward on this one. Has anyone got any comments, any other comments?
Yes, well, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman?
Yes, yeah.
So
Crispin?
My thoughts on clearing the Millfield site are well known. And I've asked our consultant, or the consultant we used, Katie, 3 times now, if we're doing the right thing. And in her opinion, we are doing the right thing, but we should, to redevelop the site, that's great, but we are not taking due consideration of the wildlife. I accept everybody has a view, and I'm having great difficulty in putting these two together and accepting it as it stands.
Okay.
But I will obviously go with the democratic process.
Okay, thank you. Andrew,
I disagree with Crispin, as we've already discussed this, but we should get ahead and do this year. But it's going to be a long-term project, because the time we've cleared it, we need to get soil in there before we can do anything. And so the pricing we're getting from the allotments, we should really price in topsoil. We should ask them for that. Because
yes, okay.
If we clear it this year, it's going to have to be leveled. We really don't know what's underneath it. It's going to be a fairly long-term project, and that will give us a chance to put it in the budget for the following year.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, Andrew mentioned there's we don't know what's there, which is absolutely true as in talking to the allotment guys. But I understand there could be buried asbestos, because he said that happened. Probably asbestos sheeting, not blue asbestos, but it's just something which needs to be taken due consideration.
Okay. Right. Well, thank you for that. So, the opinion is of this council that we should.
Colin.
Sorry, one more point.
Howard.
Howard's got his hand up. Sorry.
I'm afraid I have to agree with Crispin.
Yes.
That we have been told what we can and can't do with that site, and we're ignoring that advice. And I disagree with the chairman completely. And as a councillor, if you make that decision as a majority, I'm afraid I would have to abstain completely.
Okay.
I would vote against, but I just can't live with it, as Andrew has explained.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you, Howard. Anybody else has got any more comments?
Yes, don't you have some photographic evidence of animal life up there, Colin, from your grandson?
My grandson, yes, he has spent a whole year up there with 2 wildlife cameras positioned up there, and he has found quite minimal amount of wildlife. 2 or 3 foxes have gone through there. Quite a lot of wood mice are there, a lot of blackbirds, but nothing of great note. But he's yet to unload his last 2 3-month cameras. He's still working at that, and I'm going to try and get him to analyze everything that he's seen in the 12 months, because that might help us in our deliberations.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Right. So the thing we must do now is to, as we've said, agree to get quotations from the Allotments Association taking into account, as Andrew said, bringing soil in, topsoil, and also to follow up the quotation from Mr. Voisey for clearing the site. And then we can come back to this committee with those and have a debate on how we should go forward. Yeah, Joy, did you?
Sorry, go on.
I'm not on the amenities committee, but can I just ask Colin, if asbestos is found buried there, will it be dealt with in the appropriate manner?
Well,
not just put more topsoil on it.
Well, I'd imagine we would as a public body.
Just coming in on that, Colin. Sorry,
we would have to deal with it.
I did put my hand up just now, but you're going along like.
Okay.
Like Joy was saying, I'd like a little exploratory little dig there. Could be done by hand in different places just to see if there is any asbestos there or anything else. Doesn't have to be that won't cost a fortune.
No.
It would give some idea.
But, obviously we are in the public eye. It is public ground owned by us as a parish council. I think we've got to be seen to be doing the correct procedure. And maybe this is one way, as Kenny has said, some exploratory digging. But that's something for the future when we've got these costings in as part of the scheme. If we as a council decide to do nothing with it and leave it as a wildlife site, that's what we'll have to go with. But this is an interesting proposal from the allotment holders themselves, and I think we've got to explore it. That's my feeling. Right. Okay. So I can't say there's anything more. Crispin, you've got.
Well, I'm just going to say I agree, Colin, with you. It's an opportunity, and we shouldn't miss it. And I, as you say, we're in the public view, and we should be seem to be doing the right things.
Yes.
But that is my opinion.
Yes. Yeah. Well. Okay. Right. So I think we can move on. Obviously. It's not on the agenda tonight, but we know.
Sorry, Chair, are we taking a vote on that one?
Right. Yes. Okay. Now the proposal has been from Steve that we go for a full costing and ask from the Allotments Association for a full costing, and I will follow up also the costing from John Voisey for clearing the site. That's the proposal, I think. Is there a seconder? Yes. Yeah. Howard, yes.
You've got to split that vote into two, surely.
Right. So the first one.
I'm in agreement with the allotment plan.
Right.
Go ahead. I'm not in agreement with just going there and strimming the place without.
Okay. So the first proposal, Steve, yes, go on.
Yeah, my proposal doesn't include the clearing of the land.
Okay, right, understand.
That has already been passed and voted on.
Yeah.
The clearing of the land, we voted on this last year.
Okay, well, I know that Andrew has said that we ought to get an up-to-date quote because that's quite historical now. It's over a year old. Yeah. So, we'll go back to Steve's original proposal that we go to the allotment holders for a full quotation for their proposal. Is there a seconder for that?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Now, is anyone against that?
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to go for an amendment, Chair, if I may.
Right, amendment, yes, okay.
Just
Paul?
to say, any future action dependent upon a soil survey.
Right. Okay. Well, and that's as an amendment. Okay,
yeah, only because I think Kenny's volunteered to go up there with his spade. I do think we should dig a few holes there.
Yeah, we've got to.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
But at the moment, you'll have a job getting in there with the brambles, but still. Okay.
Well, he's a brave man.
All right. Okay. Look. So, right. Paul has proposed an amendment that
Get on with it.
before we have this quotations, we get a soil survey done.
No, I'm happy, Chair. I'm happy for you to do both. Sorry, that was consecutively. What I'm just trying to do is make sure we don't, just because we've got the quotes, we don't look as if we've greenlit the whole thing. You know, somehow we wrap in that we do want to just do a bit more exploring.
Okay, so
Colin, you keep going on from one thing to another, and it's you need an exploratory dig there, even if it's done by hand. Because what's the point of getting all these quotes in that and then find out there's asbestos in there?
True.
I mean,
okay.
You know,
I withdraw my proposal until we've had
an exploratory
voluntary soil inspection.
Okay. Now, all right.
So that's what I'm proposing, Colin.
Okay,
That's
you're
what I'm
proposing that,
Yeah.
and that is before or after the scraping of the site by John Boise.
Before.
You've got to do it after.
Before. Right. Okay.
Oh, all right.
Right. We've got to get somebody to go in there and do some random digging. Is that this is the proposal at the moment on the table? Yes.
To speak on this, please. I've tried 3 or 4 times.
John, sorry, you're not in view. I can't see you. You're blocked out. I don't know.
Shut up then, Colin.
The point.
Let John say what he wants to say.
John, yeah, carry on, John.
Right. What I want to say.
I can see you now. Yep.
Is that if we have John Boise or somebody else to clear the site,
yes.
But we're not going to afford to do anything really to the site in this or the next financial year. In saying that, we've got to, once the site's been cleared, we've got to keep it cleared, i.e. it's got to be topped up, say 2 or 3 times, that possibly wouldn't cost a fortune.
Okay.
And that's basically what I wanted to say.
Right. Okay. But the thing is, we haven't got general agreement from the council for that. All we've got at the moment, I believe, from Paul's proposal.
From Ken's proposal.
Ken's proposal.
I'm happy to drop my amendment, Chair, in and go for Ken.
Ken's
seconded
right
by Steve. Yeah.
So therefore, we've got one proposal on the table, and that is Ken's proposal that we do some exploratory digging to see if there is any asbestos. Now, it's been proposed by Ken and seconded, I think, by Paul. Is anybody against that? Right. Anybody abstaining? Okay, and I assume that then is carried, and we can move on from that point. We have to put in abeyance our response to the allotment holders. Maybe we could just write to them and say, you know, we are considering your proposal.
2 minutes.
At the moment, yeah. Okay, right. I was just going to say, I realize that time's going on. Nothing on the agenda tonight, but we do know that we've had a proposal of the allotment water supply, and I'm going to ask if that can be put onto the agenda of the full meeting of the 12th. That's already there. That's good. And by that time, I shall have some firm figures for the providing water from the springs up on Lisham's Drain for comparison. So I've got nothing else here. Items brought to the chair's attention. Nothing else I've got on my agenda, unless anyone has anything they want to desperately bring up.
Yes, I do, Colin.
Yes,
yeah.
Go on.
Just want to find out, if I may, Ian, did Sasha get the telephone number from Colin? This is to do with the elderly woman.
Yes.
Slipping into the River Collie.
I know about it, but I didn't know that she was getting a phone number.
Okay.
I haven't been told.
I'm still researching that number, and I'm going to be contacting her tomorrow morning.
Right, because it is serious.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right.
Very
There's
serious.
been a bad collapse by that bridge, the footbridge at Hambridge.
And a lady fell into the river, slipped,
river,
an elderly lady, and if there hadn't been two people coming along, that would have been her lot.
Serious, yeah.
She couldn't get out. She was trying to get out, but just slid back into the river. She would have been hypothermia if those two hadn't come along. All right. While we're there, Colin, both sides of that Ham Bridge are eroding and falling into the river.
Yes.
And they're really going at a bad way.
Mm.
Also, it was brought up last year, trees falling into the river, and from Ham Bridge down to Collie Vale Bridge.
Yes.
Needs checking out. There's also now underneath the Collie Vale Bridge, a tree jammed in there, just like the Chantry Bridge.
Yes,
And stuff is now damming up. As soon as we have heavy rain, it's gonna. Okay, so we need to contact someone. I think Sashi was hoping you'd provide that phone number.
I will. The name is Douglas Parker, Mr. Douglas Parker, and he is the incident manager for East Devon Rivers. And I've had
Ian, could you make a note of that?
Douglas Parker, incident manager for, and he's also going to provide a comprehensive report on the state and the health of the collie to us. Hello, Steve. Yes, hello, Steve.
Thank you, Kenny, for saying that. But I did report this to Colin over a fortnight ago.
That's right. And it was passed straight on to the EA. It's been passed straight on.
Nothing is being done, and it is worsening all the time.
No, that's right. I've alerted them to the fact. They know it. So, and this chap apparently patrols that river quite regularly.
Once a year?
More than that, I think. So, right. I will get the number and the email address of him for Sasha. Okay, there's nothing else under the agenda. Anything else?
No. Colin.
Pardon?
Come on, we can close the meeting.
No, we can. Date of the next meeting. We've got that the 12th of April. Okay, so that, Mr. Chairman, concludes the amenities part of the meeting.
Colin. Thank you, Colin. So we'll move on to finance quickly. And the item 1 on finance is the election of a chair and a vice chair. So do we have any nominations? Great.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
We're not far off having a meeting to elect all the chairman and vice chairman in the annual meeting, are we?
No,
is it possible we can just leave this open until then?
Ian, is that possible?
Well, yes. Yeah, you could postpone as long as you vote to postpone it until then yeah, you can do that. And then it would be either Joy or the chair of the parish council who'd have to chair this meeting between you two to decide.
Yeah, because Joy is vice chair at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, that is a proposal. Have we got a seconder for that? Yes, Steve. Are there any other amendments? Is anyone against the proposal? No. So is that all right with you, Joy? You'll chair it in the meantime? Yes. Sorry, okay. So,
no.
Yeah, so I'll hand over to you then.
Okay then, thank you. Item number 2, apologies for absence.
None.
Minutes of the Finance Committee held on the 22nd of February to be approved. Can I have a proposer, please?
Yeah, I'll propose that.
And a seconder, Howard. Anybody against or abstaining? No. Okay, that's passed then. Matters arising from the minutes. Any? No. Declarations of interest? No. Democratic period for the public questions and comments. Anybody like to speak? No. Balanced accounts for the period the 1st to 28th of February 2021. Have we all seen these?
Yeah.
Can we have,
Yeah.
can we have a proposer, please?
Howard,
Howard? Seconder?
Andrew.
Andrew? Anybody against? No, all in favour, so that's passed. Accounts to be presented for payment. Anybody got any comments on any of these payments? Yes, Eddie?
Just a quick comment, Chair. I did write to Sasha over the weekend asking for further clarification on the 2,208 cost of Jason Mayer. She gave me the explanation back with 5 different items. Can I suggest that if we're putting a figure of £2,208 in, we give a little bit more definition than what we've got down as tree work?
Noted.
I mean, I accept what Sasha has, obviously the information Sasha has given me, but I think if somebody from the public was actually looking at this, they would wonder what has cost £2,200.
Okay. In the minutes, Eddie, I'll make sure that in the minutes it's more detailed. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Chair, I'm happy to propose those en bloc if you want to pass those.
Yes, please. So proposed by Paul. and
I'll
seconded
second, Madam Chairman.
by Colin. Anybody against? No, all in favour then. Thank you. A note saying John Rawlings was paid 40p less than he should have been. And this will be added to his pay this month. HMRC owe the parish council £250.99 in March due to the recovery of statutory maternity pay. Insurance, the additional premium to increase the insurance of the library to 124,000 and the PMPF clubhouse to 553,000 and the social club to 524,000 amount to £167.19 up until the renewal date.
Can I just make it clear? Obviously, it's not going to be that price because every day that price is being reduced, but that's the price we've been given at that point.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So has this been done, or this is just what they're?
Are you? Yeah, it's whether you guys want to vote for it to accept it.
So okay. So do we have a proposal that we accept this?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
I'll
Steve.
propose that.
And a seconder, Eddie. Anybody against? No. So can you do that then, Ian, please?
I'm in the middle of a meeting. Okay.
Bank mandates to remove Ray Watts as a signature and adding of a new chair.
Sorry.
So what do we do about this, Andrew?
Can we delay that until the election?
Is it possible to amend? Is it possible to amend it to just remove Ray?
Yeah.
Obviously, while it's not voted for, Ray's still technically on the mandate.
Okay.
That would be the best thing to do, and then because we only got another month to get a new chair, haven't we? So if we just amend it to remove Ray.
Yes, I agree.
So that's your proposal, Andrew, is it?
Yeah, I propose that. Yes.
Okay.
I'll second that.
And Howard second. Anybody against that? No, thank you. First quarter January to March audit to be completed in April. Councillor Jones previously volunteered. Are you still willing to do that?
Yes, there was somebody else who volunteered at the same time as me, Chairman.
It was Howard and you. Howard did the January one.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay. You'll do that, Eddie, will you?
Yeah, somebody lets me know the arrangements.
Okay, thank you. East Devon emptying of litter and dog bin prices from the 1st of April 2021. And I think we've got a note of that, haven't we, Ian?
Yes.
So do we have to agree with these?
No, just to note,
It's
that
just
the
to note.
prices are there.
Has
going up.
everybody seen these?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
How much is it now, Madam Chairman?
It's gone up by £3.50 per bin if we collect once a week, or if they collect once a week.
Yeah, it's £3.50 once a week, £7 for twice a week, and £10 for 3 times a week. That's
Well,
the price
all our
rises.
bins are collected 3 times a week, aren't they? Monday,
Uh,
Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Not all of them. The
Not
one
all of
in
them.
Four
Oh.
Cross, no, Four Cross Elms is once a week.
Oh, right. Fine.
And how much is it before the increase? Is it £200 per bin?
It's £2.60 per bin. That's 3 times a week, and then it's £9. Oh my god, maths off my head. I think like £9, £92 for Four Cross Elms.
So each bin is costing us 260.
If they're doing 3 times a week. Yeah.
£3. I just remember that for okay. As long as people understand that in the parish, you know, they are not cheap, are they? No.
Neither end.
Well, they should take it home with them then, shouldn't they, Colin?
Yeah, well, they could. It's a lot of money.
You walk down some of the river fields.
Yeah.
They don't take it home.
No.
They just put it in the bag and sling it on the bloody ground.
No, it's terrible, I agree.
It is disgusting.
Could I suggest that those kind of costs go into the newsletter at some point in time, so that people are aware of the costs of the dropping, so to speak?
Well, as the you mean
I think a lot of the fairies come along during the night and just move them.
You mean the parish newsletter, Eddie? What's coming out shortly?
Yes.
Okay, I will.
I mean, it's very relevant to the ratepayers.
Yes, I'll make a note and discuss it with the editor. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Eddie.
G, talk broadband prices rise from the 1st of April, and from the April 2022 prices rise linked to CPI plus 3.7%. Have you all had the email with that?
Yeah.
Everybody in agreement that that's okay to pay that?
Yes.
Haven't got much choice, Chairman.
No,
it's gonna happen.
So do we need a proposer and a seconder?
No, it's
Did
just
really.
to let you know.
How it is.
Accept it.
All right.
H, handyman's leaving present. Do we need to go into committee for that?
Yeah, there's 2 matters to go into committee. Can we just put that one, because it's sort of financially sensitive, I propose it goes into committee.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll second that.
And the other matter is
Well, we'll come to the other matter in a minute. Colin, we'll come to the other matter in a minute. Colin,
sorry.
Colin, we'll come to that in a minute.
Oh, actually, I was just going to propose that we go into committee over that as well.
Yeah, hang
Oh,
on.
we haven't got to that.
Oh, sorry, we haven't got that. Sorry, right.
Okay, I, litter picking equipment quote. I don't seem to have got the up-to-date one of that, Ian. Have we had an up-to-date one?
Yeah, sorry, I thought I'd sent it. Give me a second, I'll try and.
Did send it
Is
out,
this-
yeah.
Can I just confirm, Chairman, is this the one where they're not loaning out the equipment now because of COVID?
It's up to you how you want to deal with it. It's more, we need to buy it and then we need to decide how we're going to do it. So it is still being loaned out. So Seaton is the example that we've been using. The example that the resident used as well. They are still loaning out stuff and it's just being cleaned.
Well, I think that's what needs to be done, doesn't it? But I mean, I think it's a simple process.
Yeah, it just needs to be anti-backed.
You know, I mean, I have to do my car about 4 times a week.
So are you intending, is somebody proposing that we buy this and then we let it out? Or we hire it from somewhere else?
You'd have to buy it.
Well, we have to buy it, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I suggest that we actually buy a number of them because it encourages obviously litter picking, which I think we all have an interest in. And then we just arrange for having it disinfected. I mean, I'm quite happy to disinfect it.
Okay, so in what quantity do we want to buy these?
Just give them a pair of rubber gloves.
Yeah, can I propose we maybe defer this item? Only we need a sort of strategy for this, don't we? Rather than just
Yeah, it
buying
needs to
some
be worked
stuff.
up. Yeah.
Keeping it somewhere and hoping that people might use it and return it and COVID compliant.
Yeah.
Does it need a bit more thought, do you think, Chair, before we go ahead?
Yeah. I agree with Paul. It does need to be structured use.
So, can we consider that for the next meeting, please?
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
Okay, number 9, tennis court fees. A review of the fee
Leave them as they are.
as they are.
I'd agree with that.
Yes.
Yeah, leave them as they are.
Yeah.
I agree too. Yes.
Proposed by Eddie and seconded by Andrew. And anybody against?
No.
No. Approval of the spring newsletter.
Yes, I've looked through it, Madam Chairman, and I feel it's a good newsletter, and I would like to propose that we accept that to go forward.
I'll abstain because I have not seen.
No, I haven't.
It's on the website. It's on our
website.
It's on our parish emails to look at.
I have not. I've just said to you, Colin, I have not had that email.
Oh right, okay.
So
Madam Chair, Steve, I'll send it to you because I've got it. And Eddie,
Okay.
you missing it as well?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll do that later.
And you'll
It's
add
quite
on,
an interesting
I
read.
take it, the refuse disposal.
So,
Dog bins.
right, the approval of the spring newsletter. So not many of us have seen it. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I certainly haven't, Chairman.
I've seen it.
It is on the
We do
website.
need, Madam Chair, we do need an approval tonight because we're intending to go out to, we can't wait until the next meeting.
Mr.
So the people
Chairman,
that
Madam Chairman,
yes,
I've seen it and I've read it and I'm more than happy with it. And I think some of the other of us have seen it. Definitely came out from the parish car and from Crispin.
Yeah.
so you're proposing that we approve that, Howard?
Yes, madam.
And a seconder?
I'll second it.
I'll second it, Mr. Chairman. But
John Hay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, John, thank you. So, have we any abstentions?
I haven't read it.
I'm abstaining.
I'm just
Eddie,
going to apologise, Chair. I've just read March 2020 on the website, so actually I haven't seen it at all. I thought it all looked a bit familiar. Welcome to our new clerk, Sasha Haynes, it said. So, yeah.
Have you got that, Steve? Sorry, Ian. Steve.
Yeah, well, is Eddie abstaining because he said he hadn't seen it? So I just
Two
thought
hands up.
Madam Chair, I propose I send this out at the end of this meeting. Then everybody's seen it, and everybody's got any comments, they could always get in touch with Ian tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is
I'd
that
agree.
okay?
I'd agree with that.
Yep. Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that before the night is out.
Yep. Okay.
All right, thank you very much for that, Crispin.
Okay.
Items received after the agenda was published.
Madam Chairman, there's a handyman that we interviewed, and there is a matter that we need to discuss his pay and also whether he wants to be self-employed. Again, it is sort of financially sensitive, and I would propose it goes into committee.
Yes, I'd second that, Madam Chairman.
Is this the vacancy, Chairman? Sorry, vacancy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Right, date of the next meeting, Monday, 12th of April, annual parish meeting, 19th of April, finance and planning, Monday, 26th of April. Okay, so now we go into committee.